Whether you're a die-hard fan or just looking for a good laugh, this monthly series promises to deliver the unexpected with a dash of humor. Tune in as Gene and BT dissect the what-the-fuck moments that makes pro wrestling the exciting spectacles they are. It's time to let loose and embrace the madness with the WTF News Desk, where Gene and BT bring you the 10 strangest and most fun topics each month, leaving you entertained, amused, and eagerly awaiting the next episode.
All right, we're live from 304 Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is an STSPod.club production, episode 86 of WTF and episode 957 of STSPod.club. No truth to the rumor, because I'm BT and that's Gene. He's wrestling's know-it-all. I just want you to know that. But
wrestling's know-it-all.
Wrestling's know-it-all. Right, I'm sorry. But there's no truth to the rumor that he's starting a junk food podcast. I just want you to know that. No, he's from Gadsden, Alabama, the home of the Alabama Rush soccer team. And I know they call it over there on the other side of the world football. So there we go. He's my new partner in crime, my best friend, well, most of the time. He's Gene Jackson, and together we are the two dudes with no junk in their trunk of podcasting. How's it going, Gene?
Hey now, what's going on, Brian?
There's no fucking editing going on today. We're live on Facebook, YouTube. Enjoy it, because you never know what the hell we're going to say.
No, and you never know who's watching and listening, but I've got a good idea of at least a couple of people. And hey.
What the hell, huh? Let me do some business real quick. Here's the top 3 episodes from last month. We had number 944, which was WTF. Don't think much into that, Gene, because we're doing all episodes of Memphis and May. It's usually those episodes that people really stick out. In the number 2 episode 950, that was Gene Jackson talking about the Eddie book. This is just audio plays, y'all. Yeah, there you go. And number 1 was CJ and Mama Money on episode 946. And this is the numbers I want to give. Now, we don't always give good numbers. We'll give bad numbers if we have bad numbers. But, God, I got to say this. May, 54% increase from the total numbers of May of 2024. Wonder what that's about.
Wonder what's changed. I don't know.
Total 32% increase for the first 5 months, year over year. So, man, you can't beat that. Can't beat that with a big stick.
By God, business is picking up, literally, BT.
All right, let's get started. Number 10, we're gonna name this. There is something strange in the neighborhood. And what we do on number 10 is we talk about, and I'm going to play a real quick video as we're talking about this. We talk about the strange matches that I look through the internet to try to find, and we talk about those. Hold on, here. So that you understand. Well, I don't know what the fuck I did with it. Well, like I said, no editing.
We're live, pal.
We're live. On May the 31st, there was a battle royal in DDT, which we've done a lot, to crown a special store ambassador for the day. It was Poketon, that's the way I'm going to pronounce it, whose head was technically the Iron Man heavy metal weight champion. Now, I know you don't follow DDT, and I don't either, but we followed this belt. It's one of those 24/7 belts.
Okay.
He had a strong showing, but was eliminated by Poison Sawada Julie's Snake Magic. That's right. Snake Magic. Sawada pinned Poketon's head to become the new Iron Man champion. So congratulations to Sawada for that, for winning and pinning the head.
Do we
Have
know
you
what
ever
snake
pinned the
magic
head
is?
to win?
I have not. Do we know what snake magic is? That sounds
it's scary. That's all I want to say.
Sounds fun, honey.
And speaking of magic, on the Yoshi Pro, also on 531, there's a theme park in one part of Japan over there who does the Harry Potter thing, the Harry Potter world. And we had somebody enter the match dressed as a wizard. She kept trying to cast spells on somebody and used her wand to win. Man, this is some crazy fucking shit that they do in DDT, and it's always fun to listen to it. They wrestled the match in an eye patch. Somebody did, and it's only for a minor injury. There's nothing suggests that she got poked in the eye or anything. Just weird, just totally weird. And this is my favorite. I put this up, and I know you're going to like this because it sounds like an independent in Tennessee. But May 25th, or Mississippi, I had to stab Mississippi on that one. May the 25th, 2025, in Mexico, which we always bring some crazy stories there. So what they did is they ran an angle where one of the wrestlers was accused of stealing a title belt.
Okay.
So they brought in the cops. The cops were real. They were shoot cops. They arrested this dude. Everyone thinks they're arrested. And then they get on social media, start laughing about it. And it was just an angle and all that stuff. The local news picked it up. And guess what?
What?
Gene, I'll let you guess. What happened to the two officers?
They got in trouble?
They were suspended.
Yes.
For playing around with wrestlers. So there you go. There is our number 10. There's something strange in the neighborhood. Always bring you the strange matches and strange happenings right there at number 10. You got any comments about those?
Well, I mean, if that happened in Mississippi or Tennessee, the cops probably wouldn't get in trouble. They'd just be like, oh, man, I wish I'd have got to go to the wrestling and do something. But, well, Mexico.
They actually did a very similar angle when I was doing the website at TIWF. Is that right? Yeah, TIWF in Trenton, Tennessee. It looked great on video. They raised, it's a shed is what it is. They raised the door, and as they raised the door, the cops were there to arrest, I think they arrested Forrest Putnam. So only in Tennessee and Mississippi you get away with that. Apparently, all we can say is we really hope y'all get y'all's jobs back. And y'all get to be police officers again. Y'all was just helping the wrestling. Just to work, y'all.
Trying to get the angle over, man.
That's right. That's right. And our new category last month that we started that we want to continue to do. And guys, I'll be the first to say that, no, this is the wrong one. I'll be the first to say that I've been a Wrestling Observer subscriber for a long time. Now, Gene is different. He has not been a Wrestling Observer subscriber, but, I like Dave. I really do. But recently, he has given us the opportunity to have number 9 every month is What the Fuck, Dave Meltzer?
Yeah, I think Dave Meltzer has his role to play in the ecosystem of professional wrestling, but for the people who just bow at the altar of Dave and think that everything he says is the God's gospel, okay, yeah, whatever gets you through the day, man. If you believe everything he says and you pray to him, then great. He's not right all the time. Sometimes he's way off, and sometimes he says things that make you say, what the fuck, Dave Meltzer? And this is that time.
Man, I really, if I had the time, and we talked about this right before we started, I like to go back and I've been reading some of the old observers, and I start thinking about how much he shaped. And I've said this before on here. He shaped my fandom. And then I got out of that. And since I got out of it, a lot of people say, well, you hate Dave now? No, I just like people he don't like. And he's not always right.
Well, can I ask you this? Like, looking back on it now, and I think I kind of know the answer to this because we've kind of touched on this at different times on other podcasts we've done. Does it kind of make you mad, or at least kind of like, do you think it hindered some of your enjoyment of pro wrestling that you looked at everything through that smart lens and it made you prejudge some people because Dave didn't like them, like Dusty and JYD and guys like that? So you looked past the entertainment value and was like hung up on work rate and stupid shit like that doesn't mean anything in the big scheme of things, or did it give you a different appreciation?
I hate it. There was a different appreciation at the time, but I was part of that kind of the cult of Dave Meltzer thing where, if he said a match was good, I went out of my way to watch it. If he, and you had to be a Flair guy. You couldn't be a Dusty guy. He put down Hogan in WWE. He hated WWE. Go back and read some of that stuff. Not a fan at all. Hogan was the biggest thing ever. Dusty was one of my favorite wrestlers until I started reading The Observer. And he put him down so much that he just wasn't one of my favorite wrestlers. Yeah, it did shape my view of wrestling, but I came out of it. And I came out of it mainly because a lot of the stuff that he says about AEW is like, dude, and we'll talk about this later on in the countdown, but dudes, what are you talking about? And speaking of, what are you talking about? Dave was upset that Lola Vice was on the Worlds Collide show. Him and Alvarez was talking, and he said she's not Mexican.
So that was the prerequisite to be on the Worlds Collide show? Was it the show or the poster? I've heard both.
Well, it was, he was talking about the whole show and being on the poster and everything. She wasn't Mexican, though.
Chad Gable's not Mexican either. I mean,
I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, okay. So as soon as I heard him say that, I'm going, I'm putting it in for our list. He talked about Trick Williams against Joe Hendry, our favorite Joe Hendry, when he won the TNA title. And he says the fans were really into it from the start. He said the buzz at the start of the match here was even bigger than Ospreay versus Paige. What the fuck is he talking about? There's no buzz going on about any of these matches. I mean, they were Trick was a little bit over, but who cares about Ospreay against Paige? I mean, I don't understand it. It's almost like we're making up something just to talk about it. I remember when I had to quit when Memphis Wrestling quit, and I was doing the website, and I started covering NEW because I had to have something to talk about. I jerked off to NEW all the time. Double or Nothing was among the best pay-per-view shows in history. How about that, Gene?
The history of wrestling, not the history of AEW, the history of mankind, apparently.
Yes.
He's such a blatant shield for AEW. And I don't know if he's on the payroll or it's just because those guys are his friends or what, but to me, that's really where his credibility has just gone to hell because I'm not a hater of AEW. I would have to watch it and care about it to hate it. I just don't enjoy their product, so I choose not to watch it.
That's exactly me.
And the same can be said for most of WWE and most of current wrestling altogether. I don't follow it. I don't watch it. It's not that serious to me for all the people that, the wrestling know-it-alls, they shit on all this stuff. I don't fucking watch it to shit on it. I don't pay attention to it. I don't
either.
Care. I loaded
ahead.
up, as did you, and went to Chicago to All In, and I wanted as much as anybody for AEW to do well. I still would like for AEW to do well. I'm just not going to watch it in the meantime. And if you watch it, awesome. But goddamn, you can't convince me that anything they've done in the last 4 years is one of the best pay-per-views in history. Give me a break.
Just going by work rate. That's all we're going by. And
And
that's
work
not
rate's a bullshit, made up fucking term anyway. And if you want to get down to it, the lack of success overall of AEW is living proof that work rate doesn't mean shit. You've got to have stories and compelling characters and things that bring people back week to week to week they want to follow. 5-star matches are not compelling enough to hold somebody's attention, and AEW is living proof. I used to enjoy getting the DVDs of what's the thing out in California? PWG. And I'd watch those every quarter or so when they'd come out. But I couldn't have watched it every freaking Wednesday night or Monday night or once a week, because once you've seen it, you've seen it. There's only so many flips you can make. So I don't hate it, but I just don't enjoy it enough to watch it. But if it's your thing, great. I'll never knock you for it. But let's not kid ourselves and say Double or Nothing is one of the best pay-per-views in history. And if you don't think that, you're a hater and you're a know-it-all and you're a fuckwit and all that. Well, okay, if that makes you feel better, go shout that into the void of nothingness that you talk to and tweet to and podcast to, and think that, believe that. That's fine. I don't care.
I'm the same way. That was my deal. When I quit watching, I didn't care from that point on. Hey, they had a 5-star match with Ospreay, Ricochet, 2 of my favorite guys. I don't care. It has nothing to do with it. I don't want it to end. No. I never want it to end, because people are making money and they're at a level to where they can make money, but they do so much stupid shit. We already have things for next month that they're doing. Let's talk about a few more things. He feels in the Observer, he talked about, he was beginning to think that Phoenix would have done better off if he would have just stayed in AEW. Okay. How does anybody that knows the business as well as we think Dave does thinks Phoenix would do better in AEW when he was just completely lost in the mix of all the other luchadors and they don't know how to push anybody? And do you see the entrance this man gets?
And that's just when they were actually using him.
He's a star now.
At the end, they weren't even booking the guy. No. He wasn't even being used. He wasn't lost. He was gone.
He was having 5-star matches, by the way.
Yeah, in front of, half, and not even half. What am I talking about? Quarter full arenas, if that. Once we moved to the smaller arenas that we could, make look less pitiful on TV. And the thing is, like, how has Meltzer been around this long? And I know his followers buy into this. How do these fucking people, how have they been wrestling fans for this long and not understand that a loss does not mean the end of the world? You're not being buried. You're not like, he loses a match to Solo Sikoa, who has been pushed for 2 years as a top guy. And now it's, he should have stayed in AEW. Oh my God, all is lost.
I know, none of that makes any sense to me. And to me, it's not understanding, because guys, I've been told before, Sami Zayn, he lost too much. And I'm like, he's done, blah, blah, blah. And then, it's in cycles. You can't push everybody at once when you got a roster like that. He's also says you can't. Here's something that we're going to talk about next month also. But he also is comparing Raw with Dynamite. Shouldn't be done. Dynamite has a huge advantage of being on both television and a streaming service in about 100 million unique homes. Here's where it kills me. If you add Max homes and TBS homes, you get 120 million, but roughly 20 million of them have both Netflix. What? Huh? And he says, he's been saying for months that they're getting 500,000 people on Max watching it, but no one has ever told us how many. Up until the end of May, no one knew how many viewers is going on. He said if Dynamite did 301 viewers on Max, it would equal the total U.S. viewers for Raw. You know the old saying of a bullfrog had wings, he wouldn't bump his ass every damn time. And that's the way I think. I don't know why he's just imaginary numbers that he just brings up.
And I don't know why fans get hung up on arguing the numbers. What do you give a shit? Why?
They do, though.
And not to carry this show into a whole nother direction, but today's fans, the smart fans, but let's not call them know-it-alls, they sit around and ponder and argue and tweet about, numbers and ratings and backstage things and whose contracts run out and who's about to leave and all this shit. And nobody cares or even talks about the angles and the storylines and the stuff that's actually happening. It's all this. Why are fans arguing about numbers? And why does Meltzer feel like if he can bullshit a compelling enough argument to make you think that Dynamite's doing better than Raw, then that makes it true? That being on Netflix is somehow not as good as being on TBS and Max. Give me a freaking break.
Here's one thing that let's talk about kayfabe sheets, okay? They used to be trade publications. The people in the business read them. There was fans that read them, but there wasn't many of us. Now it's the opposite. A lot of people in the business do read the Observer, don't get me wrong, but everybody's got an opinion now, and that internet did that. So It ain't just this; it's every other fandom that we got. I've looked at, they've had actors or actresses from Star Wars that quit Twitter and stuff because people won't leave them the fuck alone. Yeah. And we got some stuff later. This is the last thing, real quick. We stayed on this for a while. There's a reason why. Dave was arguing with AI this month. So AI talked about the ratings about Netflix, and Dave then got on there to tell his own numbers that was going on Netflix. So he argued against the AI on Twitter. So sometime next month, I'm going to bring an AI on for the next show, and then you can fight with it. How about that?
Well, let's go. Bring it on, AI. We got
number 8. Number 8. Man, I don't even have my banner up. Shit. Number 8. There we go. Number 8. So I'm not going to go into full detail about this, but I want to know your thoughts on this. Johnny Ace turns against Vince, gets out of the case that we got going on, and he's going to tell everything about Vince. Does that surprise you?
Not a bit. The only thing that surprised me was that it took him that long to do it. I was expecting the Johnny Ace turn to happen almost instantaneously, but no, I'm not surprised in the least.
He says as part of the agreement, he is expected to provide evidence supporting Grant's allegations. So he's going to tell all that. Here's what I want to read. I want to read the book when this is all over, okay? The guy that writes the book on this and all the stuff that Johnny says. And Johnny was there, so don't think that he wasn't there. He knows everything. Everything. The right-hand man knows everything. It's going to be fun. It's going to really, really be fun. I'm going to let you do this one and let me comment on it because guess what? You do retro podcasts, and you're the retro man. We got a new segment for number 7. We're going to do this every month now. It's the retro WTF moment in wrestling. So tell us, it was in 1993, and tell us what it was.
So I remember this well because I remember watching these guys in Global and then finding out they were headed to WCW, and I thought, man, this is going to be crazy. The Ebony Experience are headed to WCW. Well, Booker T and Stevie Ray, formerly the Ebony Experience in the Global Wrestling Federation, debuted in WCW. And of course, Harlem Heat. And you're all picturing Harlem Heat right now. And, the Harlem Heat we all came to know and most of us love. That's not what we saw when they debuted in 1993. Initially, they weren't Booker T and Stevie Ray anymore. They were Cole and Kane. And the original gimmick portrayed them as two men in prison garb and chains, led to the ring and managed by Colonel Robert Parker, who plays the character of a Southern colonel, aka some would say a plantation owner, if you will. And they were depicted as recently paroled convicts. And even in times that were a little less sensitive back in 1993, they immediately, WCW, TBS came under fire for the, as it was put, racial insensitivity. And they quickly abandoned that look and that whole. They stayed Kane and Cole initially as Harlem Heat in the. At first they didn't. They come out. They had the black and red tights. They wore like shirts that looked like something Garth Brooks would wear on a country album. They were like red and black with flames on them. Before we eventually got the Harlem Heat look that we remember, but. Can you imagine sitting in the boardroom and who pitched that? Like, it'd be great. It'd get some heat, brother. And it did. It got heat. Just not the kind of heat that we were expecting.
It was one of those what the fuck moments back then where you just said, what were they thinking? They always I always think that also when you see some products on the market and you think, what were they thinking about pickled Mountain Dew or something like that? and the idea with wrestling is you have pickle Mountain Dew would be actually worse because you have so many people that put their hands on something like that until it comes out as a product. So no one was saying no. And that's the way it works here. Hey, I got this idea. Well, what's your idea? Well, we're gonna have him as a plantation. He's a plantation owner. We might as well put chains on these guys. Oh man, that sounds good. That sounds good. And then it gets on TV. So it to me, this is the funniest thing about bad ideas is that they get all the way to television, and you go, wait, that wasn't a good idea.
They get to television, and somebody, and I've been around Booker T and Stevie Ray more than once, two very large, intimidating men.
Big.
Somebody sat down in a room and pitched these guys, all right, guys, here's what they have in mind. And, these guys, they're trying to break out of Texas. GWF is dead. Texas is dead. They're trying to get into a mainstream company. And, when they left that room, they had to look at each other. It had to be the old, tell me they did not just say that, but, for real. And they're like, well, man, we got to do what we got to do to get our foot in the door. But holy shit. They had to think they were getting punked or something. Like, all right, man, let's go back to the hotel. They're going to call Dusty's going to call, oh, baby, we just kidding. We used to do all that shit up in here. But no, it took a little while. They had the gear. They did a couple of matches under the gimmick, the whole nine. The only thing that worries me about this story, BT, I'm afraid that we've jumped the shark already because I don't know what's going to be a bigger what the fuck moment
we got
in wrestling than this.
You'll find it. All we have to do is get in the mind of Kevin Sullivan. We have plenty of stuff that we can cover with Kevin Sullivan. So, all right, that was our new feature. We're going to do the WTF moment in pro wrestling, a retro moment there. Number 6 is, Darby Allin actually climbed Mount Everest. He did a backflip at 20,958 feet at his count. Here's the thing. What the fuck? Number one, nothing against anybody. Let me just say, why do people want to do this? Why do you want to climb a fucking mountain? I'm sorry. I have a hard time going to the refrigerator. I'm pissed off when I want to walk all the way over there or when I'm at Walmart. Why do you think I got delivery? I'm a fat ass, I know, but damn, I've never in my life thought I really want to climb a mountain. Where people die trying to climb this mountain. Here's the funniest part about the whole thing that made me go, what the fuck? He had a picture. They took a picture with an AEW flag. What the fuck was he thinking? It reminds me of those independent promotions in Mississippi and Tennessee where the guys get tattoos.
Yeah.
Of the promotion.
Well, Tony Khan probably funded the whole thing because of that,
Well,
hey, I'll pay because that shit ain't for free. You got to be able to go do that. Plus, he was paying him the whole time, so I'm sure he's like, hey, you get up there, you plant this freaking flag, and we're not doing nothing with you anyway, so you might as well go climb Mount Everest and fill in your spare time. And just don't do a coffin drop off the side of the damn thing.
Do you sit around you and the wife there and think about climbing mountains?
No, I mean, I don't besmirch the guy for having a goal to go climb Mount Everest. I mean, few people can say they did, but no, I certainly don't aspire to do things like that. When we get done, I've got to go all the way to the end of the driveway and bring back the garbage can. And I'm like, shit, it's sprinkling out there. It's a pretty long walk. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow,
All right, guys, we are going to go. We'll have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Smarks be acting crazy. That's number 5. Quick commercial break, and we will be right back.
Don't miss Memphis Wrestling Live. Next Saturday, June 21st, excuse me, meet Vicky Guerrero live at the Tupelo Furniture Market in Tupelo, Mississippi. Sunday, June 29th, James Ellsworth returns. Plus, the return of Shark Boy. Saturday, July 12th, don't miss Luchador Wrestling Night with the Arkansas Travelers in Little Rock, featuring former WWE United States Champion Kalisto. July 17th and 18th, Memphis Wrestling Kids Camp returns. Registration is now open. Sunday, July 20th, don't miss Gilbert. And don't miss your chance to meet WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi. All tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at memphiswrestling.tv.
Wrestling fans, are you ready? Every Friday night in Osceola, Arkansas, MCW, the legacy continues. Live, hard-hitting, family-friendly wrestling action every Friday night at the MCW Arena, located at 1098 West Kaiser. Doors open at 6:30 and the action starts at 8 p.m. sharp. Don't miss your chance to see the stars of MCW battling out in the ring, rivals, drama, and slam-packed action. Following wrestling superstars are appearing: Chase McCoy, C-Money, LA Hustlers, Party Factor, Zaya Wolf, DJ Cash, JT Williams, Galen Ray, Serpent, 187, Luke, Justice, and many, many more. Here's what I want you to do. If you have any questions, I want you to search Facebook for Osceola's Mid-Southern Championship Wrestling. All ticket information, how to get your ticket, what time the show starts, everything right there on Facebook. All tickets are on sale right now. Be there! All right. Thank you to our sponsors. Real quick, shout out this coming Friday morning. I will be with Steven Staff. He's one of the new guys joining the staff. We'll be doing the Breakout Stars at 8 a.m. on Friday morning. Gene, we have something coming out also tonight, right? Late tonight, the Retro Show.
Yes, it drops 11 p.m. Central Time, midnight Eastern, and it will be the new episode. It is the 1993 season finale and award show featuring BT joining us. And this time, we didn't push Richard out to have BT. They were all there. The gang's all there. We do a quick review of a couple of matches from the December 25th, 1993 episode of USWA, and then we go right into the awards. I don't know about you. I had a lot of fun. I was surprised by some of the people's picks, not so surprised by others, and there's a couple. We won't spoil them.
No.
There are a couple of awards there that was a clean sweep. We all picked the same people for those awards, and we did not talk about it ahead of time.
No, we didn't. I was so tempted when we was talking about factions to message y'all, and then when we got to that category, what you said was like, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. But yeah, I have such a good time on that show, mainly because, well, I don't do anything but come to the show, watch the show, and all that. I really like doing that. I don't have to edit it, blah blah blah.
I know what you mean.
But man, Josh and Richard just fun. I love poking at Richard, but Richard's really fun. And he's had, some minor success going on right now with being doing stand up. And we just shout out to Richard and Josh. They're fun to be around. All right, we're gonna get to 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Number 5, Smarks be acting crazy. First of all, the internet blew up when they moved Mania from New Orleans to Las Vegas. That pissed me off, Gene. Pissed me off. Why was there such a big... I'm so mad. Look what they're doing. Money mongers. They went to somewhere that paid them more than New Orleans did. Why does that bother people?
I don't know. I mean, if you're a fan in New Orleans who was going, then okay, be mad. I get it. But everybody else that were just mad for the sake of being mad, you're going to watch it at home either way. Even the people who hate WWE and criticize everything they do, you're going to watch it, whether it's in New Orleans or Las Vegas or, Saudi Arabia or, Tupelo.
I didn't understand that. Here, this happens every time. We had some wrestlers released. I'm not going to name all of them, but they were released. And then we had the outrage. WWE, this money-making machine, lets people go. Why is there outrage about that? Guess what? It's a business. And I believe someone described it. I'm not sure who was saying this. Could have been Dave. You bring people in to NXT. You bring them over to the main roster. You have to get rid of people. That's the easiest way to look at it. You bring more people in, you get rid of people. Hey, they can work AEW. So, I mean, hell, they get every one of them. But why is WWE bad for releasing people? I've never understood that.
But we don't say a word when AEW lets somebody go quietly. They just scamper off in the middle of the night. We don't criticize that. We don't have anything to say about that. That's fine. But, oh my God, WWE lets somebody go and they're the big evil empire. And, look at it like a bus, man. Eventually you keep picking people up at bus stops. Somebody has to get off somewhere. There's only so much room. So like you said, great. You pick more people up from NXT, then somebody's got to go. And if you look at it from the standpoint of, look at all the people at one point or another who got let go from WWE, and they went to another promotion, or they hit the independents and reinvented themselves and came back or went somewhere else and had a better career than what they had being stale. Look at, Matt Cardona and, McIntyre left and came back.
Look at Cody Rhodes of all people. There
Cody
you go.
freaking Rhodes. Like, it's so just, there's places for people to go right now. There's money to be made on the independents. It's not like any of these people are going to go be homeless unless they just choose to, and, be lazy and not, pursue anything. So everybody just calm down. Think of the way of working themselves out. I promise.
And none of that made any, and it happens every time. Everybody wants to cry about it. Everybody snowflakes it. There was also some outrage because there was a match spoiler that showed up on Raw. They showed an upcoming match with Chad Gable against Vikingo, and I'm probably not pronouncing his name right, at Worlds Collide, and they had him with the mega title match. He had him with the mega title match, and he hadn't won the belt yet. Total outrage.
Well, they deserve it for that. String them all up, shut it down. How dare you? Somebody's going to figure out this wrestling stuff ain't all on the up and up, BT, when you do things. Well,
eventually
like
they will. For some reason, that spoiler just pissed people off. And I didn't see a lot of this, but I thought it was really funny. Was Tom Segura, who is one of my favorite comedians, was on Raw And apparently everyone got mad at him because when he, in 2020, he did one of on his podcast, Your Mom's House. He said he thought wrestling is for fucking retards. I'm sorry, I said the R word, but I'm just quoting, Gene. I'm just quoting. He said wrestling was the stupidest shit. Its fans were fucking tools. Hey, I don't care. Number one, he's a comedian. He's making jokes. And if they told me I could be on, I don't know, say, hey, BT, I tell you what, the Catholic Church wants you on their highest rated broadcast tomorrow. Guess what? I'm a Catholic. I'm going to be on their broadcast with my stspod.club shirt on. Yeah. Damn it, we're going to do this. What is the big deal about? I mean, have you ever heard Rogan's thing about wrestling, about it being gay and everything?
Oh yeah, he shit on wrestling for years, and then he starts having the Undertaker and all these guys on this show, and allegedly he started to gain a little more respect for it, but not really. It's just, you know, you do shows every week, you got to have guests, and you got to have people that, you know, they want to hear. My thing is, you know, I'm a fan of Tom Segura as well. I understand why people got upset about this. I'm not going, why do they get mad? Okay, it's obvious why I get mad. But in his defense, the most vocal wrestling fans are mostly a bunch of tools and a bunch of fucking F words or R words, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They're a bunch of assholes. I could name a few by name right now, which I won't do. But if you go and read their tweets and listen to them for more than 5 minutes, like,
wait, Gene, wait. Tool. No one's reading their tweets.
No one's reading their tweets, but that's why I said if you read their tweets, you'd say, boy, they're a fucking tool. So I get it, but I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and go, well, I can't understand why these people got mad. Well, sure, this guy's all over Monday Night Raw promoting his shit, and he just said all this derogatory stuff about wrestling 5 years ago. People change in 5 years. Maybe he's come to have a better understanding of wrestling and wrestling fans, or an appreciation for it. You know?
Yeah, it's hilarious that people get so. I see what you're saying, but fuck it. He's a comedian. None of that. You know, it's just like people getting mad by you razzing them or something. Do you know that if I got mad at every time y'all said something to me, you, Josh, and Gene, I'd be crying?
Oh, you wouldn't speak to us?
No, that's what guys do. That's what guys do to their friends. We talk about you like trash. But if someone else talks about you, we'll punch them in the mouth. That's just what happens. That's what happens. All right, here's a good one. And I didn't get the location on this one, but Gene, this is something that you know, they be acting crazy. They tried to kiss Paige at an autograph signing. She said, "Crazy, I have to say this, but if you come to my signings, please don't try to kiss me, especially on the mouth." He was able to because I moved, but Jesus fucking Christ. That's what I say.
So let me get this straight. A fan paid for a meet and greet to get their picture with Paige and thought it was okay to come and try to kiss her on the mouth.
Yep.
Did this happen in Chicago?
I think so. Yeah. It was probably in Chicago. Yeah.
Sounds like one of them Chicago fans that are creepy around women. I don't even know what to say to that dude. Like, shit like that. Like, you see some of these poor women and these guys, the way they are on them at these meet and greets and stuff. And it's just like, you know, eventually they're going to be like, you know, that famous picture of, you know, like Sasha Banks with the dude like 6 feet away or whatever. It's going to come a time where meet and greets, there's going to be like COVID rules. We're like, all right, you can only get within 2 feet and all that, because of idiots like that. Like, what are you thinking, dude?
Yeah, it makes no sense. I don't know what was going on. And Smarks be acting crazy. They be acting so crazy, Gene, that they don't even show up. They don't even show up. The green shirt guy didn't even show up. He was not at Backlash in St. Louis. he be acting crazy now because he's always there.
Well, I blame WWE. It's clearly not Green Shirt Guy's fault. It's got to be WWE's. Did they release him? Did he get released and all those guys?
No, he came back the next pay-per-view. So
okay.
there we go.
Well,
Everyone thought.
So they did the Ron Killings bit where.
No, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that next month. Let's hold off on that. I got a lot to say about that one. All right, that was be acting crazy. The Smarks. Now, number 4 is always going to be our wrestlers behaving badly. We got, which I think is kind of interesting. We got former Ted DiBiase Jr. We've been following this case on and off on WTF. It's possible he'll get 45 years for that fraud. And if I remember correctly, this is the same one that had Brett Favre in it. So, yeah, Ted DiBiase going to jail.
Yeah, Brett Favre distanced himself from that pretty quick. They got him out of the fray early on. But, yeah, initially Brett was tied up in it, and Ted Sr. was somehow tied up in it, and they managed to shake it off, and poor Ted Jr. couldn't get away, and it sounds like he's going to do some time. And if it's true, then he deserves to. Fuck that guy if he really did it. But,
they did a documentary on Netflix that I highly recommend if you are a football fan. I know you're not, but it was well done. Well done about the whole thing. They don't mention DiBiase, but the whole thing there. I don't know if we have the complete update on this, but they had dropped the lawsuit on Billy Jack Haynes. I do have the update. They dropped the lawsuit. Allegedly, he killed his wife, right, or girlfriend, and his wife. And then they dropped the charges saying he wasn't mentally capable of doing that. Blah blah blah. But then the family now is trying to get it kind of like the OJ, the family of the people that OJ killed. So they're trying to get him now.
I don't think they dropped the charges. I think they just said he wasn't mentally
he wasn't
competent
able
to stand trial, which isn't the same as the charges being dropped. But,
I guess, yeah.
But then you can still bring the civil lawsuit.
What are you now? Are you now a law know-it-all? Is that what
I am? I know. I'm the wrestling know-it-all and the lawyer and know-it-all. So if there's any lawyers out there that want to tweet about me to no followers.
I'll pop for myself on that one. That's pretty bad when you laugh at your own joke. So Paige was on a podcast, and this is about wrestlers acting badly, and
you have to call her Soraya Bryan. No, she's not Paige anymore.
She will always be Paige to me because I've watched every damn video she had, even with that one where she shot something out of her ass. So I like that one. That's one of my favorites. So she wanted everyone to know when they started talking that she didn't like being called mommy. No, in the bedroom, don't call her mommy. Don't call her mom. Don't call her the aunt. Don't call her anything. Or aunt, as people like to say. So, Gene, I had to ask you, since she don't like being called mommy, do you not like being called mommy in the bedroom either?
I don't.
Oh, okay. All right. I needed to know that for, on Saturday night, on the weekend, hell, I'm game for anything, so it really doesn't matter.
That's the story. So, man, so what we've learned here, despite the fact that her, what her amateur porn days would speak differently, she's kind of a prude, man. Like, she don't want random fans coming up, kissing her on the mouth. She doesn't want to be called, mommy in the bedroom. Like, I thought, Soraya would be a little wilder than that. So it's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, yeah, watch those videos. She is a little bit wilder. Velveteen Dream also trying to plead his case. We've talked about him over the years. He's blaming the internet now. Well, it would be easy to blame the internet wrestling community for anything, but it's their fault that he got fired. Not that he was sending messages to underage people, but it was the internet's fault that he got fired.
Well, yeah, because they called him out on it. If they just kept their mouth shut, then, he could have continued on doing what he was doing.
Him and Joey Ryan, it's all about the internet, And go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't know. as far as the Joey, like Velveteen Dream's a little different case than Joey Ryan. Like Velveteen Dream was allegedly, messaging underage people online and all that. The Joey Ryan stuff, there has never been any charges brought against him. I don't know that there's been proof of some of the things that were said. So I don't know if he was, fairly crucified in the media, but, they don't even want the guy to have a job at this point. The guy's trying to work at a friggin' amusement park and people are taking pictures of him and getting him fired and everything. But I don't know. I don't claim to know the ins and outs of all those cases.
Yeah,
I don't think the Joey Ryan thing and the Velveteen Dream thing's exactly in the same category, but that's me speculating.
It's crazy. Last thing on this, wrestlers behaving badly. Let's say that Triple H MVP had a lot to say. He said that Triple H called him the N-word all the time.
All the time?
All the time. He just did it just for the hell of it. He just called him that.
All the time?
Yeah, all the time.
It
was the MVP, the N-word.
Yeah.
Look, I've been backstage where I heard the N-word a couple times, and it may have come from some very famous Memphis wrestlers that made me feel uncomfortable at the time. But do you want me to reveal that? Patreon. But
I wasn't there, and I could probably guess that, but I won't. Is this supposed to be during his Paul Levesque VP, or what is he? What is he? What's his title?
Well, people in wrestling get away with stuff that you don't get away with on anything else until recently. We got to say that. People he said he has no respect for him because he called him the N-word.
Well,
I understand that. I'd be
if that's true, then yeah, I'd be mad too.
If he called me that, I'd be mad.
Yeah, all
right.
That's kind of cool.
Number 3. We did this last month, so we got some shocking stuff. This is called Shock Me. Wrestling shocking moments for the month. Dakota Kai and Shayna Baszler apparently rumored that they're dating. The thing that shocks me the most is, Gene, can you believe it that they are gay?
I had no idea.
Oh my God, I cannot believe that.
What's with this trend lately of all these women's wrestlers taking these pictures of like their face up against other women's asses and their mouth open like they're fixing to bite their ass or eat their ass or something? Like, you're seeing it from all kinds of different ones. And like in AEW is like, girl on girl porn now. Like the main clips I see anybody share is like chicks making out in the ring and everything. I'm like, what are we doing down there?
I never liked lesbian porn. I just want to tell you that. I really did. Go. Do you remember the old Ron White joke? Go try to find that out about watching porn. That's a good joke there. All right, I've got some other shocking news. Otis is fat.
Bullshit. Yeah,
yes,
you get me to believe
is.
A lot of stuff.
They updated the catering, and the big guy, well, he wasn't happy. I love this. Of all the people in the WWE, when they update catering, he just wasn't happy with it, and he just voiced his opinion. Hey, you can't do that. I'm fat. I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat a lot. I promise you I will. It had to be the fat guy. And, man, we can make fun of him.
He's going to ask for his release now because he doesn't like the catering.
Can't. And here's the most shocking thing. And I had an insider tell me this. A know-it-all. There's other know-it-alls.
Wasn't me. I'll say it wasn't me.
But Jerry Lawler has not updated his iPhone. Right? You didn't know that, did you?
Right.
I know that shocks the shit out of you.
Well, I don't know what that implies exactly, but I'm not going to speculate.
He just hadn't updated the operating system.
Not going to speculate what he's trying to save on there.
All right, number two. Sabu died, and Joey Janela killed him. Right?
Wait, what?
Yep, that's what they're saying. It's accusations that GCW was drugging Sabu before the final match. reminds me of the old joke where they said Lawler killed Andy Kaufman, but this is not a joke. They actually said that Sabu was so messed up on his last night that he probably did things he wasn't supposed to be doing, and that's what killed him.
Compared to how messed up Sabu was on his first night, I mean, are you going to try to tell me that Sabu wasn't messed up through 80% of the matches he ever had in his life?
They said that they claim they give him kratom. Is that it? It's actually a legal substance that's sold in some states. It's legal. They had to get on the internet, Joey did, and say that they did not drug him. But he also said, I love this. He said, "So fuck you. Sabu was a grown man. He did what he had to do to get out there. I love that. I took care of him in the best of my ability." So in other words, he was fucked up, but Joey Janela didn't kill him. So there you go.
There you go. And don't make this one of your clips that you put out there. That you put out there for everybody. But I was around Sabu 1 week before he passed, literally 1 week before he passed. And I heard what he was going around looking for, and nobody forced Sabu to do a damn thing. So I'm not the biggest Joey Janela fan, but I think Joey is probably innocent on these charges. BT.
Gene, I've been around a lot of wrestlers, and let me tell you, they like painkillers and they like smoking weed. So that's just what happens. That's professional wrestling. So there you go. I don't know what he was doing. Don't really care. But he knew, like Joey Janela said, Sabu was a grown man. All right, we're closing in on an hour, so we're going to do number one. AEW keeps fucking up. Our number one for WTF. What the fuck are you thinking? Ospreay got online talking about the AEW in every aspect of the business. AEW is better than WWE. Is it delusion, or is it just they're paying him so much that he's going to get on there and say that?
That's the part I don't know, is if these people really believe this stuff, or they're just, hey, you're paying me more money than I've ever seen in my life, so I'll put you over. I'll say, whatever. He's definitely delusional. Whether he thinks he believes any of that or not, he's definitely delusional. Dear God.
And the ending thing that happened, what the fuck, that I thought, remember, go back and listen to what we said about AEW. We don't want it to end.
No, not at all.
We don't hate it. We just don't watch it.
Yeah.
But during their show, Collision, on a Saturday night, as the final minutes, or about 20 minutes, was going on, all of a sudden, Black Adam, the final boss, The Rock, shows up on the screen and they play a movie. How does that fucking shit happen? What the fuck's going on over there?
That's a movie. I thought you were telling me that Tony Khan had brought in Dwayne Johnson and called him Black Adam as his gimmick or something. I missed all this. This makes a lot more sense. It's a movie. All right. Well, now the story. I skimmed this story earlier, and I'm
sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. I should have put that on there. Hey guys, real quick, put over your site. Tell them where to go, Gene.
You can check out USWA Podcast to find out all the links relative to the Retro Wrestling Review. USWA Podcast. You can check out DougGilbertPodcast.com to find all the related links to the Dangerous Conversations with Doug Gilbert and Tommy Rich podcast, as well as their social medias, t-shirt stores, and all that good stuff. And check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Retro Wrestling Archive. There's over 3,000 retro wrestling videos on there, full shows, matches, podcasts, you name it. And recently joining us is the man himself, Mr. Brian Trammell. We are now putting up old episodes of Was It Really That Good? And other STS pod.club content will be making its way over there. So glad to have you, man.
And we're doing a Patreon show. We'll talk more about that on the Patreon episode, but you should be seeing it in the next day or so on both our Patreons. So
yeah, a first.
That's right. First right there. Same bad time, same bad channel on the best little wrestling podcast in the business. Be there. And as everyone knows, well, Gene knows this, faux show, I love my mama.